Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, had to leave Woodstock this morning, and I am in my hotel room in Albany, New York, spending the night here, and then I got to kill time tomorrow. I hadn't looked at, I forgot to look at what time I was flying back. I thought it was about 4 in the afternoon. I don't fly till 7:30 tomorrow night, so a lot of time to kill tomorrow, but that's okay. It's nice to just have some time. You know, that last year did the same trip. Had to get up the next morning after leaving Woodstock and get on a plane at 7 o'clock. So I'm not complaining at all. Anyhow, today I want to talk about cravings on a raw food diet. Guys, I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, go down there and hit that subscribe button. Now, lots of new stuff coming. And then immediately go click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed and YouTube won't unsubscribe you. Wanted to do this one today. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago when I was at Woodstock. This is going to be the last time I talk about cravings. I just couldn't put my hands on a good craving video. And from now on, anytime I'm asked a question about craving, I'm just going to click a link to this video. It's not complicated. Listen, I get people that ask over and over and over, what about cravings? What about cravings? What about cravings? You're either going to figure out a way, you're going to listen to some of the tips and tricks that people tell you, and you're going to figure out how to get rid of them, or you're not. You're not. There's no magic formula. You know, it's almost like you can almost read desperation into comments sometime, or when people ask questions, and it's just like they're looking for you to give them some sort of magic or some trick that's just all of a sudden going to make it easy. And it is really easy, but it's not really a trick. I've said over and over and over and over, and there's always the contrarian that disagrees. The number one thing is don't be hungry. Don't be sitting around hungry all the time. Because it's really hard to have a craving when you're full. It's really hard to have a craving when you're satiated. Okay, that one in 100,000 person will say, well, I do. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think about any sort of food when I'm full. I don't even think about good food when I'm full, much less something bad. So my number one trick, and it sounds kind of silly, is just to overpower those cravings. Just overpower those cravings. I actually have visual aid today just because I've got a lot of fruit in the room here. Bananas, 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 bananas. If you've got a craving and it's just eating at you and it does, you know, it's not going to go away, eat some. It can be as simple as eating some bananas or some other kind of fruit. You know, eat one banana. If you're still got a craving, eat another banana, eat another one and another one and another one. And if you eat enough of them, the craving will go away. Banana ice cream, banana ice cream. You can really do it like that. I mean, what do you need after you eat some good banana ice cream? If it's specific cravings, if it's salt, you can, you know, if you have a craving for something salty, there's certain vegetables. Maybe you need salad with certain kind of vegetables in there. I always find celery. Celery is a great, you know, kind of scratches that itch when you have the salt thing going on. I can taste that particularly when I'm eating a lot of sugar. You know, when I'm having mostly fruit throughout the day and then maybe I have a glass of celery juice in the afternoon or something, oof, you can really, the contrast of that salt, that kind of salty flavor in there. You know, I don't use it all that much anymore. I'm not using it near as much as I did in years past, but Bragg's aminos, you know, it can kind of, in recipes, it can kind of give you a little bit of a you know, substitute for that salty taste. If you've got a dehydrator, make celery salt. I haven't done, you know, I'm starting to get the hankering again to get myself a dehydrator since I left mine behind in Costa Rica for other reasons. But yeah, I did that one time. You put it, I forgot what I used. Now that one, I don't know if there's an attachment on the Vitamix. I used my NutriBullet at the time, but you get something, or you could probably get a little coffee grinder or something like that, or not a coffee grinder, but yeah, a coffee grinder that grinds coffee beans. But that works well. You chop it up, you put it in your dehydrator, you get it real dry, and you chop that up. I use that a good bit for one period there. But The cravings, they're mostly psychological. They're mostly psychological. To be honest with you, I don't think there's any really physical basis for a craving. You're either, you're hungry or you're not. So now the second thing I would say, somebody was asking me about this recently, and I wrote back to them about this. This lifestyle is not about discipline. You're not going to get through the cravings on discipline. That's a big mistake, and that's a big mistake that people make right there. They think, oh, well, I'm just going to power through it. You need to eat something. As soon as these cravings really start eating at you, you know, they're really starting to pull at you, you need to eat something. You need to eat something instead of trying to white knuckle it and hold on, because you're not going to do this you're not going to do this lifestyle on willpower. You're not going to do this lifestyle on discipline. I get a little bit irked sometimes when people tell me, although they're telling me in a nice way, oh man, you have such discipline, or you know, you have such self-control. No, I don't have self-control. I like to eat. I eat all the time. And that's one of the reasons that I didn't have, you know, that this worked for me. This is not some theoretical stuff that I'm putting out to other people. I did this. And on this lifestyle, when we're eating these foods, whole plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, greens, that are not nearly as calorically dense as the kind of foods you used to eat before, you can do that. You can mow down this food all day. If you don't, you know, don't have a juicer, and don't have a dehydrator to make the celery sauce, eat some celery. Just simply eat some celery. Like I say, that celery is a nice substitute. But it's really, I don't know. Sometimes I'm almost trying to like, okay, what else can I think of? What can I tell people? Blah, blah, blah. Because it's just, you either will or you won't. You will or you won't. And that's the truth on most of this lifestyle. There's not going to be, you're going to kind of work through a process as you go from wherever you're coming from. Standard American diet, when you go to a plant-based diet, and then when you go to a raw food diet, and maybe even from there you clean up your raw food diet. It's going to be a process. There is no trick. If anybody is out there telling you, trying to sell you that they've got some sort of program or plan to keep you from having cravings, they don't. They don't. It's just as simple as that. Don't let yourself get hungry. And once you give in to the cravings, these cravings will eventually go away. They're mostly in the mind, but there are some cravings on our taste buds, like the salt, for instance. It can take a while for that salt craving to go away. And the thing is, just like drugs, just like nicotine, the longer you keep giving in and reintroducing that certain thing into your body, that just feeds that craving, and you don't get rid of it. Your mouth will eventually, like, you know, people say, I need salt for this, I need salt for that. It'll eventually go away. I mean, I've gone, salt's just not a thing for me, and I'm not a fanatic. Somebody asked me the other day, well, do you ever use salt? Yeah, I use it from time to time. I can't tell you the last time I did, maybe a month, maybe 2 months ago. Just randomly, every once in a while, I'll be making a recipe or having something, and I say I'm going to put a little pink Himalayan salt on there. And I do. But it doesn't lead to some downward spiral where I'm putting salt on everything again. Because I worked through, well, number one, I never really had a hardcore salt craving, but I worked that out of my taste buds. And as long as I don't, you know, use it over and over and over, using some one time like that is not going to draw me back in to where, oh God, now I've got to eat salt again. This lifestyle is kind of the Yoda thing that I've talked about in the past. It's do or do not. It's do or do not. It's food. It's food. If you will put a little thought, a little planning into your food, it's like I've talked about on anything else, sticking to this diet. Do whatever you have to do for yourself. You know, some people have more trouble with it than others. If you have to have, you know, number one, that I've said just even about staying on the raw food diet or whatever applies to the cravings, always have good choices around. If you will have good choices around and you will eliminate the bad choices, that's going to overcome so much right there, because if it's within your reach, if it's within your house, you know, it's so that little thing gets in your head, and it makes it even more so, because it's easy to get. Now, obviously, you know, unless you live out in the wilderness or somewhere where you can't get to stores or whatever, you know, you get a craving, sure, you can hop in the car or you can walk and you can go to a store and you can get something, but that's much less likely than if it's right available at your fingertips. So plan it out a little bit, you know, eat. For people that really suffer from cravings, I would say it's even more important for you to have a plan. You might even have a plan. I'm not saying you got to plan every single detail of the way you eat, what you do, but it might even come down to you do have to have a meal, like a plan of like during the day, like, okay, I'm going to eat it this time, I'm going to eat it this time, I'm going to have a snack here, I'm going to eat it this time, I'm going to eat it this time. And you know that food's coming, and you're, like I say, going back to the first thing I said, you're keeping yourself satiated, you're staying full. And when I say you're staying full, I guess satiated is the better word, because, you know, I don't want to be full all the time. I'm not full all the time. I'm satisfied. I'm satiated because I eat plenty. I eat throughout the day. I'm not one, maybe time-wise, I don't know how many hours it is. It's usually between 5 in the evening, 9 in the morning before I eat. But I'm not one, so there's, in a certain aspect, maybe that's a little bit of intermittent fasting. I'm damn sure not one of those people, you know, more power to you if that's what you want to do. I'm not one of these people that's going to eat once a day. I'm not one of these people that's going to eat at noon. Now, whether you want to do that or not, definitely not something you should be attempting, you know, from the beginning or when you're still kind of, you know, new to your journey. You know, if you do want to do that, like I say, I'm not saying nothing wrong with it, or I'm not arguing with it necessarily, but it's definitely not for beginners. Especially if you're still dealing with cravings and you're having a hard time staying on this lifestyle. That's for people that are a little bit, in my opinion anyway, that can do this lifestyle, and then they kind of have decided through whatever reasons, research, what they've done, that they want to take it to a next level. But I stay full all day. And yes, every once in a while, I don't even know if I'd call it a craving, because a craving to me seems like something that's just like, it's like an intense headache that's throbbing at you. Yeah, there are times when I'm tempted, want to kind of eat something, and it wouldn't be terrible, but it's not what I planned on or what I wanted to for the day, so I just go ahead and eat something else. Telling you, nice cream works wonders. Anytime you have any sort of craving, make yourself a nice big bowl of nice cream and you'll do it. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, but I get the salty. I don't know. I can throw out 1,000 tips for you, but with the salty or with anything else, you've got to kind of work it out on your own. So anyhow, that's going to be the last time I really talk about cravings, because there's only so much you can say. I may not have addressed every issue. I may not have given you every trick, but I've given you through different videos everything I know. So anyhow, that's about it on the cravings. I will show you some of this nice bounty I have. I stocked up this morning, so I've got like, oh God, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got like 9 of these Martha's Best papayas. They were great. They gave us food as we were leaving the fruit festival. So I've got like 9 of these little papayas, and oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 mangoes, great mangoes. So I'm going to go out with that. Oh, and those bananas I had. So I went to Whole Foods when I got here, got a little bit, got a salad, got a smoothie, and this is going to be pretty much my food until I get on that plane tomorrow. Well, no, I'll probably go back down to the mall. I'll probably have one smoothie tomorrow. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And I probably won't see you tomorrow, because tomorrow's a travel day. I don't get in until 11:30 at night, so I'll see you the next day. Peace.